Hello, everybody, and I am exhausted because I am currently deep in pre production trying to make this movie that I have been wanting to make for over a year at this stage, and now it's happening, and oh boy. Uh, this is hard, and I know it's gonna get harder, and I gotta just keep pushing. But for some reason, I'm also doing Oscar prediction videos at the same time. So let's just not waste too much time with this and just get on to Best Supporting Actress. That is the category we're gonna do right now. And this is an interesting category because for a while it looked like it was completely up in the air, and then eventually the dust settled, and it it looks like we have a pretty clear winner right now, although it's not an absolutely sure thing. I'll explain what I mean when I get to it. But for now, here are the nominees for Best Supporting Actress. Fifth most likely to win is Amanda Seyfried in Mank. Now, Amanda Seyfried, this is her first nomination. She's a really well-respected actress. I don't know if well-respected would be the right word, but people know who she is from stuff like Mean Girls and Mamma Mia and Les Mis, and she was actually really good in First Reformed, and this is her first nomination. It's a welcome to the club type thing. And when people saw this movie, there was a lot of talk that she could be the winner. People did really like the performance. The performance was one of the most praised aspects about the movie. People said if she just had one more big scene, she would really be in contention for the win, but she doesn't. And as it turns out, the movie is not as beloved as we thought it was. I mean, it got 10 nominations, but it missed out on screenplay, and it missed out on editing, and it just doesn't have passion behind it. And so the film, I don't think has what it takes to be it's not going to be a Best Picture winner, clearly, and it's not going to take Seyfried along with it. Seyfried has not won a lot of awards in the build-up to this. She hasn't won that many critic stuff. She seems like the person that keeps getting nominated everywhere, but doesn't win. And this seems to be a perfectly respectable performance, but no one is saying that this performance deserves to win, especially against the competition that she has. So, very well-deserved nomination, Amanda Seyfried, but this performance is not going to win. I'm quite confident in that. Fourth most likely to win is Olivia Colman in The Father. Now, this one is interesting because Colman, she is a very, very well-respected actress. This is her second nomination, and she shockingly won 2 years ago for The Favorite. And there was some concern, especially, spoiler alert, Glenn Close is also nominated, people were talking about, is Olivia Colman going to beat Glenn Close again? Is that going to be the battle we have? And it turns out that's really not the battle we have this year. Colman is very good in The Father, but it's a very subtle, nuanced performance. She doesn't really soak up a lot of attention compared to what Anthony Hopkins is doing. It's a very good performance and a very strong performance, but I was feeling, as I was watching the film, this is the type of performance that gets nominated but doesn't have the passion to win. And seeing how it hasn't really won anything major in the build-up to this, I feel justified in thinking that. And again, I want to emphasize, this is a very good performance from a very well-respected actress, and so she will get votes. But again, compared to her competition, it's a good performance. It's not a flashy performance. It's not a performance that screams, "Give me an Oscar." And that's about as good a transition as we're going to get to third most likely to win, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy. So this is Glenn Close's 8th Oscar nomination, and assuming she doesn't win, she will then tie with Peter O'Toole for most nominations without a win, which, if nothing else, is certainly very good company to be in. It's so funny because her last film, The Wife, nobody really liked that film. No one really disliked it either, but it was a very bland film. But people were like, Close is winning for this, Close is winning for this, it's her time, it's her time. And she ended up losing. And now she's nominated for Hillbilly Elegy, which is a film that people actively dislike. And yet it's still a film where Glenn Close is going all out and transforming herself, and she's given so many big scenes to work with. And it does kind of feel like an Oscar-winning role, and yet people really do not like this movie, to the extent that Close was actually nominated for a Razzie Award for this exact performance. And early on, there was a lot of talk that this was going to be Close's year and she was going to find a way to make it happen. And she did get nominated for all the major things, but then she never actually won a major award. She didn't win SAG, she didn't win Critics' Choice or BAFTA or Globe. And it is interesting because usually when someone takes a It's Their Time award, when it's meant to be a lifetime achievement type thing, they sweep. And Glenn Close has not been sweeping. She hasn't won anything. I think she's won one Critics Award, but that's hardly sweeping. This performance is divisive, I think I'd say. I think some people like the performance, some people don't, but people really don't like the movie, and people really don't want to award Glenn for this. There will be some people that vote for her purely because she's Glenn Close and they want to give her an Oscar, but I cannot imagine her amassing the support she actually needs to win this category. Once upon a time, she looked like a contender, but her chances have dwindled away because no one wants to give it to her for this movie. Maybe for Sunset Boulevard, but not for this movie. Second most likely to win is Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie film. Now, this is a really interesting nomination and performance because she's playing, obviously, Borat's daughter in the movie, but what's crazy about this performance is that it feels so different from everything else in this category. Not only because it's a comedic performance, but because it's one of those hidden camera type things where she's acting opposite people who have no idea that she's acting, and she has to fool them. And what she does, I'm not going to call it one of the best performances of the year, but it is certainly one of the bravest. I think for this unknown actress to put herself out there in ways that are humiliating and shocking, but always have complete control over her craft, to say nothing of the film's most famous scene involving Rudy Giuliani. I cannot imagine the amount of courage she must have summoned to be able to do that. And if she were to win, I would not be that upset. I think it is a strong achievement that she was able to pull off here. That being said, however, there have been a lot of people that dislike the performance because so much of it is gross out shock value and don't see the true value in what Bakalova is doing. And while the performance is strong, it also feels weird in this lineup next to so many dramatic performances with big scenes, and this is just such a broad comedic performance that, again, the Oscars, they've awarded comedic performances before, but never anything like this, never anything like a hidden camera acting opposite people who don't know you're acting. It would be bold, and she did win the Critics' Choice Award, and she won a couple of Critics Awards in the lead up to this, and she's also made like a lot of lineups, so this performance has been getting talked about quite a lot, but frankly, I can't see her actually pulling off the win. I think it's close. I think she's the number 2. I think there's a legitimate possibility it could happen, and yet number 1 most likely to win is Yoo Jung-yoon for Minari. As soon as I saw this movie, I said to myself, she's winning the Oscar. Because not only is the performance really, really good, but the role is exactly the type of role that wins this category. She's playing the grandparent that's a little out there and a little kooky, but also has a deep love and respect for her family. And she has the big moment. She has the big scene. She's really, really good in this movie. And it's a movie that everybody loves. Everybody loves this movie. I haven't seen one person say a single bad thing about Minari. And she is such an integral part into what makes the movie work. And so, for that reason alone, she's winning. But on top of that, not only does she have so many critics awards going into this, and she's kind of an unknown for Americans, but Korean audiences have known who she is for a long time. She's a very well-respected actress over there, and she won the SAG Award as well as the BAFTA. And with those two awards, she's pretty much got this thing sewn up, in my opinion. People love this movie and want to give the movie something, and I don't see what else it can win. Like, it's such an easy path to victory for Yoo Jun-yoon. And Bakalova is number 2. I think Bakalova has enough support that she could surprise everyone, but I really don't think that's happening. I think Yoo Jun-yoon is going to make history as the second Asian actress to ever win this award, which is crazy, but that's what's happening, and I really support her. This is the performance that should win, and I believe will win. Although, let me just say right off the bat, Eva Whittaker and Wolf Walker should have been in this category. There, I said it. Okay, well, that's it. That's all for me, for supporting actress. And tune in tomorrow, where I'll be talking about the category of Best Costume Design. Hopefully that was seamless. It took me a second to decide that, but that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, Best Costume Design. So, see you then.